Well, we've talked a little bit about S-OJT and planning S-OJT and the impacts of S-OJT. And of course, anything that you bring into the organization new is going to have issues as well. And there are issues with everything that you implement that is new. There's no denying that there are issues. One of the major issues is to make sure that there's enough time to allow the experienced employees, who are often maybe the best performers and involved in projects of their own, to ask them to come back and take time to work in a planned way with these trainees. And so many organizations often struggle. They say, well, on one hand, we have challenge to make sure that we are doing our production, providing our service as we planned, and at the same time, we have to make sure that the people are trained. So there's a balance between that. And so coming up with a solution for that is an important aspect for implementing S-OJT for the long term. There are a number of little things about how to make sure that trainers remain committed and those kinds of things, but the major issue that organizations face has to do with making time during the workday for S-OJT to occur. When people ask me that question, I say to them, what is the perspective that you're taking on this? Are you asking me because you want to not do it anymore? You want to drop the system because it's interfering with your productivity, as you think it might be? Or are you coming to the question with a problem-solving perspective? Are you saying, this is occurring, we still think this is important, so how do we make it happen in that context? If I feel that the organization is just looking for a reason not to be committed, not to continue on, there's nothing I can say to them that'll help them. But if they're interested in looking for solutions to work around the demands of the workday, then that's different. And there's all kinds of things that you can think about. You can separate the training sessions into chunks. You can do some now, you can do some later, you can do some tomorrow. Because S-OJT has training materials, the modules, which has documented the tasks, it's very easy to start and stop, come back, continue. At the end of every training module, at the end of every S-OJT module, is a performance check. It makes sure that people are able to perform the task, either to be observed or the products of their efforts can be rated in some way. So it doesn't matter. So one way of addressing the issue is to separate the training activity into little chunks to make sure that it's not just one long, intrusive training session. Other organizations find time before the workday, perhaps, after the workday, perhaps. And I often say to people, they complain that it's interfering with productivity. And I often say to them, if you really want to do this, if you really value the outcomes that you're going to get, you'll find a way. And it's more or less giving it back to them, because I think the best people to solve this issue are the people involved. The trainers, the managers, the sponsors, even the trainees can be involved in saying, how can we address some of these issues of interfering with the workday? The thing about structured on-the-job training, which is true for all types of learning in the work setting, is that you're combining the learning and working at the same time. And it's always going to be an issue of the two activities coming in together and making sure one is balanced against the other. At the end of the day, we know that work has to come before the training. That's okay. But at the same time, it has to be from a management commitment to say, we are going to maintain this culture and we are going to ensure and make sure and be accountable for the development of our employees.